as a valid result and a valid way to do things, so you might want to do some more checks on it. And I think I better shut up at this point, right? I went on my really, okay. But I like that, you know, and bringing over Cohen's kappa and doing some analysis. When you're inside that role, Cohen's kappa falls apart, so don't worry about it. I mean, that's part of what's going on. It's the analysis, it's a correlation analysis that's falling apart, and that's why you start getting the lower validity of the text.
So just to speak about the reason that why we chose the 3-second interval was when we were looking at the existing literature that was out there, this was the optimal interval that we saw was being used in other disciplines for actually capturing that behavior at the appropriate occurrence. That's why we chose 3 seconds, though I do strongly agree that by varying the occurrence, we would be able to check for other frequencies or the more fine-grained or coarse-grained analysis of that behavior. So
do it only in your thesis if somebody on your committee demands it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
In our lab, we have more than 200 hours of data. So I think for to do this manually, it would take a lot of manpower and resources you don't have. So my comment is, why not write smart algorithms to do some of the event detection automatically and then have humans look at them? That would be much more effective. I mean, that's the approach we do.
Sure. So the question was pertaining to using automatic detection of these type of metrics rather than manual detection. So many of the metrics that we were looking at, or being able to identify them, we felt would be very difficult problems and would be a PhD thesis in and of itself to analyze different types of vocalization behavior, especially being able to characterize the different types of phonemes, if it's speech-like or imitative, as well as the actual video analysis of, you know, are they actually attending to the computer? These are much more subjective things in terms of the ability to write a computer program to do it, and that's why we were looking at doing it manually. We did, and this is going to be a shameless plug, so I'm sorry, but we did build 2 tools to, and I had the slide just happened to be there, to do video annotation. So coders traditionally use Excel to do their video annotation, and this is a very cumbersome process that they were saying. So we built these tools to allow for video annotation to be sped up in terms of the process. And one of the main reasons that coders felt that they were able to get down to that 20 minutes of coding time per minute of video was because of these tools. So though, I mean, technology hopefully will get there so that we can do automatic detection, but until that day happens, until somebody else does a PhD thesis and does it for us, we created tools to help assist the manual process.
Right, but you have already annotated the data, right? The data has been annotated, right? So why not use some part of the data as a training and then test it on some of the some unseen data and see how it performs?
We could definitely do that.
We could do it if you were to share the data for us.
I'll check with IRB on that.
Sorry, apologies, I haven't read the paper, so you might have explained it. So question, very specific question. So you mentioned, for example, there's this category called focalization and there's another one called engagement. And in your movie that you showed, it's like the child was focalizing a lot of screaming, that to me showed engagement. So if I would be a coder, how do I solve that, or do I double code it?
So what we would do is, because we break the system up into different passes, we treat each pass as an independent analysis of the video data. So when we look at, let's say, the engagement with the visual feedback, when they watch the video, they're actually just looking at the visual interaction, and then they look at just the response to audio interaction. Then when they look at the video again for their vocalization behavior, we then recategorize it again. So that also allows you, when you're doing the analysis in something like STATA or SPSS, that you can actually draw parallels and draw correlations between their visual engagement and a specific type of vocalization. No problem.
This might be the same question. So that's where you would get timing dependencies. Something happens on the screen. There's a vocalization within a certain time interval of that. That's a sort of a post-process. It's not something coders are looking at. Is that right?
Right. So that analysis of that behavior would be something that we would look at afterwards. So when we actually ask the coders to go through, because we put the second pass first, the audio and visual attentiveness pass before the vocalization pass, coders are actually able to see those annotations while they're coding the vocalization to give them additional cues for helping them analyze the behavior. So, great. Thank you very much.